The world will ask you who you are, and if you don't know, the world will tell you. Do not compare, do not measure. No other way is like yours. All other ways deceive and tempt you. You must fulfill the way that is in you. Thinking is difficult, that's why most people judge. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. We are not what happened to us, we are what we wish to become. Life really does begin at 40. Up until then, you are just doing research. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. The foundation of all mental illness is the unwillingness to experience legitimate suffering. The difference between a good life and a bad life is how well you walk through the fire. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. The most dangerous things in the world are immense accumulations of human beings who are manipulated by only a few heads. Be grateful for your difficulties and challenges, for they hold blessings. In fact, man needs difficulties. They are necessary for health, personal growth, individuation, and self-actualization. No tree, it is said, can grow to heaven unless its roots reach down to hell. To be normal is the ultimate aim of the unsuccessful. Intuition is one of the 4 basic psychological functions, along with thinking, feeling, and sensing. We don't really heal anything, we simply let it go. The ability to ask questions is the greatest resource in learning the truth. The first half of life is devoted to forming a healthy ego. The second half is going inward and letting go of it. You must go in quest of yourself, and you will find yourself again only in the simple and forgotten things. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Real liberation comes not from glossing over or repressing painful states of feeling, but only from experiencing them to the full. The brighter the light, the darker the shadow. Normality is a fine ideal for those who have no imagination. If our religion is based on salivation, our chief emotions will be fear and trembling. If our religion is based on wonder, our chief emotion will be gratitude. Loneliness does not come from having no people about one, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to oneself, or from holding certain views, which others find inadmissible. We don't get wounded alone, and we don't heal alone. Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakes. The meeting of 2 personalities is like the contact of 2 chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. If a man knows more than others, he becomes lonely. Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darknesses of other people. The most important question anyone can ask is, what myth am I living? The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. We cannot change anything until we accept it. Condemnation does not liberate, it oppresses. Everyone you meet knows something you don't know but need to know. Learn from them. Synchronicity is an ever-present reality for those who have eyes to see. We meet ourselves time and again in 1,000 disguises on the path of life. When goals go, meaning goes. When meaning goes, purpose goes. When purpose goes, life goes dead on our hands. God enters through the wound. To ask the right question is already half the solution of a problem. Embrace your grief, for there, your soul will grow. Trust that which gives you meaning, and accept it as your guide. Conflict exists strictly as an opportunity to raise our consciousness. Our world has become dehumanized. Man feels himself isolated in the cosmos, because he is no longer involved in nature. You are what you do, not what you say you'll do. In each of us is another whom we do not know. He speaks to us in dreams and tells us how differently he sees us from the way we see ourselves. What did you do as a child that made that hours pass like minutes? Herein lies the key to your earthly pursuits. Invited or not, God is present. Nothing is possible without love, for love puts one in a mood to risk everything. A man's hatred is always concentrated upon that which makes him conscious of his bad qualities. Lack of sexual activity leads to neurosis. Nothing has a stronger influence psychologically on their environment, and especially on their children, than the unlived life of the parent. Every human life contains a potential. If that potential is not fulfilled, then that life was wasted. Life calls not for perfection, but for completeness. Freedom stretches only as far as the limits of our consciousness. That which we do not confront in ourselves, we will meet as fate. I've realized that somebody who's tired and needs a rest, and goes on working all the same, is a fool. We discover ourselves through others. The greatest sin is to be unconscious. One finds one's destiny on the path one takes to avoid it. The reason for evil in the world is that people are not able to tell their stories. Whenever we give up, leave behind, and forget too much, there is always the danger that the things we have neglected will return with added force. The shoe that fits one person pinches another. There is no recipe for living that suits all cases. We cannot change anything unless we accept it. In order to know the light, we must first experience the darkness. Thank you for watching. For more videos, please don't forget to click the subscribe like buttons.